It's going down. It's going down. It's going down on the Tiddy Pow Wow. It's going down. It's going down. It's going down on the Tiddy Pow Wow. It's going down. It's going. It's going down. It's going. It's going down on the Tiddy Pow Wow.
Thank you for joining us here at the Tiddy Pow Wow. It's your girl, Nika Joan with Quisha Denise. And today we have a special, lovely guest, DJ Ice.
Hello, everybody. How you doing?
What's up, DJ Ice?
The Tiddy Pow Wow.
Hey. Nika Jones.
Wow.
We happy to have DJ Ice on here because he helps us with everything in this
No, I
podcast.
don't. No, I don't, y'all. Don't be that.
But today, before we started to record, we had a conversation, me and DJ Ice, about some things that I feel about men and what I think they should do and what fathers should be. And so in that conversation, it made me want to include him in on the conversation we were having today, just about the audacity of these, never mind, because a lot of stuff happens that's just so unacceptable. And I think as women, we be sitting around talking to each other about it, about maybe the way men don't do what they need to do as fathers in situations. And I know previously we've talked about co-parenting on our other episodes, but even just watching how men are, how they don't even make an effort sometimes to do what they need to do. And so that's where, I feel like the audacity comes in, because it's almost disrespectful to the woman or to the mother of their children.
Well, to the kids. It's disrespectful to the kids.
Mm-hmm.
That some fathers, not all, but that some fathers don't feel the need to step up into their role as a father in the same way that women do. Like, really, it's like when we leave the hospital with the kids, it's our responsibility, and that's known, that's our responsibility to take care of the kids, to just go ahead and fulfill our motherly duties. But, it's very easy for a father to walk away and just kind of pop in and out, as he chooses to, and do what he wants to do, when really us as mothers, we really have no choice. It has to get done, and we have to make it happen with or without help from the other parent.
Right. And so that's where even when I think about the audacity, a lot of times I think about how sometimes men want the power of in the situation, but not the responsibility. So they want to be able to speak on certain things or say how they think things should go, but they don't want to be responsible for implementing and making sure that those things happen with kids.
That is a word.
So what I want to know, DJ Ice, is how do you think that we get to this point? Like, I seen a statistic that said, it was Don Lemon off CNN, said 72% of like African American kids are born out of wedlock. And so with that being said, that means there are a lot of parents out here that have to work together or need to work together, right, for the sake of their children. How do you think that we got to a place where it's primarily the woman caring for the kids' needs all the way around the board?
Well, I think somewhere in one of these generations that somebody dropped the ball. I mean, I'm gonna just keep it real, because my generation, I'm a 70s baby, so I had an OG that gave me some advice. Mm-hmm. And when I had my first kid when I was 19, and OG was like, "You need to go up there and put yourself on child support." Mm-hmm. And I was like, "Man, I gotta wait and see if it's mine." I was young, I ain't know, first kid, I gotta wait to see his man. I'm making up all kind of excuses. Mm-hmm. But now that I'm older and I see how the court system and different different engagements, I guess so to say, could happen, or scenarios could happen. I really wish that that's what I would have did. Because you can take yourself on child support. You can go down there and say, hey, this baby may be mine, so I'm gonna just pay something, because something is better than nothing,
right?
And that's what the system looks at. Because if you don't do nothing, then that's when they go with the jail and all that stuff, threaten you with jail, and most guys are scared. I've seen some of the court processes to where guys have showed up at court and the judge will trick them. It'll be like, so how you get here? I drove. Well, how much is your car payment?
Right.
$300-$400 a month. Okay, so pay $300 or $400 a month in child support.
Yeah.
I can't do that. So you can't pay $300 or $400 a month for your kid, but you can pay for a car.
Yeah, which is
well, I need a car. No, you don't. You can catch the bus. You can ride a bike. It sounds harsh, but that's real.
It's luxury. That's a luxury. That's not a necessity. Taking care of your kids.
And most guys, not thinking that.
Right.
And I mean, I've seen a lot of things. I've seen them throw an answer, like just a figure. They say, okay, well, pay $100 a week. People scared. Okay. And then they get behind because they can't afford it. They had a job that was paying, like, minimum wage back then was $3.35.
Yeah.
$3.35 an hour. And you was lucky to get a $300 or $400 check. So really, and then they was going to buy her, pay her car lots. So interests are extra high on that.
Right.
So and they young, they don't know, they not thinking. Didn't really have no bills, was still living with their mom or dad or whatever. So you wasn't, you didn't have your own spot. So all your payment was a car payment.
Yeah.
So I mean, but what they supposed to do, they supposed to take both incomes. Child support supposed to take whatever income the woman or the mother have and whatever income the father have. And it's a chart. They average it out.
Yeah.
But some of them be scared and they just throw that number at them. And they just don't want to go to jail, so they'll be like, okay. Then they get behind. So, but I mean, I'm all for. I'm one of those guys to where it's like, even if either we all gonna get along or we all not gonna get along.
Yeah.
So if I messed up and we not together and we have a kid, it's about the kid.
Right.
It's not about who you see and that.
It's not
I can
about
care less.
Yeah.
And I think that's where some of these guys get caught up at.
It's funny that you brought up the child support system, because I was just asking somebody what they thought. I was listening to the Outer World podcast, and they were talking about child support, and I was asking, what do people think is fair? You know what I'm saying? What do you think is fair to pay in child support? Because a lot of times, I think what they were talking about was one of the athletes was having to pay, his baby mom was asking like for $200,000, I guess, in child support a month. And of course, he has millions, but people were like, that's just too much or whatever. And I was just like, so what do people think is fair for a kid? Because in child support, like you said, they're going to base it on the income of both people. So if he got millions, then that's pretty much going by the,
that's what it averages out to be.
$200,000 a month is fair. Because I think that they talk about, maintaining a certain lifestyle that the kid may have been used to while I was in. I guess I get frustrated because I don't understand how men can ignore that their children have to have a lifestyle, like that they have to have food and, accommodations and you have to pay extra for rooms in your house and all of that. And it seems like a lot of men just don't, if they're not in the home, they don't seem to expect to be responsible for things that have to happen on a daily basis, like making sure your child gets to and from daycare or wherever else, or gets picked up, what do you say, to and from, but basically they don't understand the things that you have to do on a regular basis. And then when you ask for something or you expect something, it's like they get mad because they feel like you shouldn't ask. I don't know if you shouldn't ask, but
well, I'll tell you right now, like I remember my mother, she used to talk about it in one of her baby's daddies. I'm not gonna say which one, but one of them said, she, I guess was going, I don't know if they were going through the child support process or maybe they were just discussing what he should be paying every month. But I remember he said, he made a comment and she talked about it where he said, well, I shouldn't have to pay for your lifestyle. And it wasn't like, we was living, on high horses, but, we lived pretty moderately.
Mhm.
But for him, he's like, you have this house on the parkway, you have this, y'all do this, y'all go out of town. And to me, that's just my normal,
Mhm.
life that we live. But for him, he felt like he shouldn't have to, provide or should, contribute to the lifestyle that my mother wanted for her kids. And it
Mhm.
wasn't anything, fabulous or, real, dramatic, but it was what she thought was, acceptable and what her kids deserved. And like I said, we had, we both all got 2 pair of shoes when school started, a pair of Eastlands and a pair of tennis shoes. It wasn't like we had the most, but he just felt like, and I think that's what a lot of people feel like. I don't want, like some guys, I don't need to, pay for your lifestyle or what you think. Okay, well then if you don't want to pay what I think, what do you think? And that's what I told my son's father. I'm like, okay, we went to child support, all of that, but I'm like, he's like, well, it's only this much a week. And I'm like, okay, if that's what you feel like your child deserves, your contribution to him, then I'm fine with it.
Mhm.
But you know who you are. You know how you move. You know your lifestyle. You know what you do. If you giving my son pennies, but you over, you know what I'm saying? Like, what
Right.
do you feel is acceptable for you to contribute
Right.
to your child?
And a lot of times the ones who say, I'm not trying to pay for how you live or whatever, it's because they don't want the money to take away from their own shoes and their own clothes and different things that they want to buy for themselves. Like a lot of men, but my brother told me something a long time ago when I was dealing with certain frustrations. And he told me, he said, Quisha, he said, a man who don't take care of his kids will not have any luck.
Mm-hmm.
And I swear, the guys that I know that don't take care of their kids can't keep it together to save their life. And I think it's because of that misplaced priority.
Yeah.
You have to put first things first and then do things decent and in order. Because if you knew that you had to like contribute a certain amount or do something for your kid, then off the top, that gets done first. And then everything else follows that. But it's almost like a lot of times men, that's why I say it's just the audacity, because it's unacceptable that you would think that your child is the last thing that comes, that you got to pay your car payment, your insurance, and this and that and the third. And then if I have any money left over, my kids, I might do something for them. Like, and I'm just like, but as parents, especially as custodial parents, you have to make sure that all these things come off the top. And then if you have something left over, you can do something for yourself, So it's just a real, it's a sad situation to think that there's so many out here. And I guess because maybe it's so many, because when I think about the women around me, they all dealing with stuff that I'm just like, the audacity, like straight up, like I just can't even believe. It's astonishing.
Who raised you?
And that is part of the problem.
It
is because a lot of men, they have been raised with only seeing their mothers do what she needs to do, and they haven't had fathers. So to them, they don't consider what their role is because they don't know it. But it's still frustrating to be on the other end, because even as a person who didn't have their father growing up, I still always had this idea in my mind of what manhood looked like and what a father should be doing, because I thought about the things that I felt like my father should have done for me. So in my mind, I even with child support, I never done the child support thing because I thought that if I be this cool mama and try to maintain a good relationship with you, that person would do whatever they need to do on their own because they care so much about their baby. But it doesn't happen like it. Like it seems like when you're being nice and not putting them through the system and trying to let them do what they need on their own, they take full advantage of it. And so, like in my mind, I think if I could go back and do it over again, if I wasn't married to you, you going on child support. Because to me, that's the only way to keep things like fair. And that's not even just money wise, but I think time, everything should be shared. I just can't believe that, like people go weeks upon weeks without seeing their kids, talking to their kids, go months without contributing to their lives. Like, how do you think they eat? What do you think they, who's paying for football? Who's paying for, cheerleading? Like
swim lessons and piano lessons and
or just nurturing your kids' gifts.
But that's the thing. Like that would be fall under, I feel like, him saying, well, why do I need to pay for your lifestyle? This isn't my lifestyle. This is your child. Why wouldn't you want to contribute to your child being exposed to more things to create them a more well-rounded child? Like that's not a lifestyle. That's not a luxury, to have piano lessons and that. It is, but it's not when you are raising kids. Why wouldn't you want to cultivate their gifts the things that they love to do? And to me, I feel like that should be something that a man should be willing and should want to contribute to, because I'm not asking you to pay for my nails. I'm not asking you to pay for my trip or this or that I'm going on. But I know a lot of the times with certain guys, when they see the mother moving certain ways, or she might go out, or she might get her hair done, or get a new car, or get, go on a trip. I'm not paying for you to live your lifestyle. No, you're paying for your child. I do this on my own.
Right. I think that's where guys get it mixed up too. It's like what I'm bringing to the table don't have nothing to do with what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
That's just deflection. If somebody's like, oh, you get your nails done, you know what? If a little $40 or $50 came and I got my nails done with it, I paid everything else that I was supposed to pay for my kids. So no, you didn't contribute to my nails. You replaced money. You replaced money that I already needed or I used for other stuff.
I'm gonna keep it real. They don't want to. I mean, because they not with you
no
more.
Say it again.
They don't want to see a woman come up if they not with them.
That's sad.
It is sad, but I mean, they not. And just like that, what they'll do is they'll pay you last.
Yeah,
crazy.
Pay you least.
And well, no, I'm just saying, like if it was already an amount that they had to pay, if it was child support and the bill came in, if they had the regular monthly bills, they'll be like, okay, let me pay my so and so, and then my baby mama her child support. Right. They ain't gonna say, okay, let me pay my baby mama child support. T-Mobile can wait an extra day, so they may cut me out, but I'll just wait till the month. They ain't gonna do that. They're gonna pay that phone. Have to do. They're gonna pay that phone bill first. That's just because they don't want to see you come up. I'm giving y'all free game. I'm telling you from a guy's point.
The woman that is raising your child come up or maintain, because it ain't even just coming up. Why wouldn't you want to? Why would you put her in a situation, or you be accepting of watching a woman struggle with your kid?
Yeah,
they hurt. That they don't want another guy to benefit off what they missed out on. And it is.
They want to
but
see
that's
you
how
good, but not better than
that's how a guy does get the benefit, because then another man will come and see your situation and know that he's needed maybe in that situation, or feels needed in that situation. So they'll step up. And then they got to deal with the stepdaddy.
Yeah. But they don't think, we guys, we don't think. We know.
I Googled.
We don't plan ahead,
Well, and I Googled the other day, which, Google ain't really that reliable, but, it said, I Googled, when is, somebody had posted on Facebook, they said, ask Siri, when is the age of the man emotionally matures? That fool said 43 years old. So that's why I'm just like, they may not, understand.
They don't get it.
They don't get it. And that's what I have to realize. Sometimes they just, some dudes just don't know. Some they just don't. They haven't been shown. They haven't been taught. And maybe they've gotten away with certain things dealing with this female or that one. But when you run into the right one, it makes you, have to step up.
Yeah, you have to check yourself.
Yeah. But my mom always said, honey, you're going to do it by choice or by force. And that's just what it is. And that wasn't anything. So you can choose to make the right decision and do what you got to do, or go down there and have the white man tell you what to pay,
Yeah, that's what they use. Prime example. I guess he's so much into the news and I don't want to really bring the name up, but R. Kelly with his situation, $161,000 behind, but he I'm telling you, I feel like R. Kelly didn't want to give Dre that money
Oh,
because he
no.
knows she was going to get back to, at least
Yeah.
kind of maintain.
Because he could make that off one song.
Right.
Off one
And he
track,
happened
he
so to
could've-
show up in
Yeah.
court with 60,000.
Right.
Come on now.
Yeah, he could get made
So
it
you
in one
could've-
appearance. That was, what did you talk about? Financial abuse?
Financial abuse.
Yeah, yeah.
When you decided to punish somebody through finances.
Yeah.
I think that's what he was doing.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Because he's
Definitely.
had that money so many times over. I don't
Yeah.
even understand why he don't have it now. But he's had that money so many times over. But they use that to it's just another form of abuse, another jab.
Mhm.
They want to see you hurt in all ways. And I'm talking about
Struggle.
narcissists because
Yeah.
he is, but to see you struggle, but in all ways. I'm gonna take away the emotions from you. I'm gonna take away, the financial support from you because they just want to kick you when you down.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what they hope. That's what their hope is.
Yeah. But to me, even getting that far behind in child support, like at what point do you feel like it's not about you? You know what I'm saying? That it's about the kids,
It's a
I
maturity
mean, I've
thing.
had to have conversations over the years that I just feel like I shouldn't have had to have, like with men about what they needed to do. And it's just so hard to be considerate, of someone when they're not doing the best that they can, when they're not even trying to do the best that they can. And so, I don't know. It's just something that for me, when I think about this subject, I feel like I was such a person who was against the system. So putting people in the system because I thought about the other things that to me mattered more, which was like somebody spending time with your child, getting to know them, being present for their events or whatever. And so in my mind, I didn't want to start the fight over child support and then the other things get neglected. So I thought if I be nice and cool and cordial and accepting of certain, that it would be like, oh man, I gotta make sure she's straight because she definitely is considerate of me or whatever. You would think.
I mean,
but it is not.
No,
that's how I was.
People milk it. People take advantage.
I mean, I had two good. I ain't gonna say baby mamas, child mothers, and they was pretty understanding. But I mean,
but you probably helped in ways, because
if
you don't have the money,
you
can do the other stuff too. And so it's just like, but when people don't choose to do much of anything, but then they want to like control how things go or say negative things about what they think should be happening or isn't happening. And it's just
you gotta make them. You gonna make them pay child support. Well, I didn't make you lay down with me.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I look at it. I mean, it's, guys may think I'm hating, but I mean, it's just real.
They always think it's
just real stuff, man.
I mean,
I'm not taking the female side or nothing like that, but it's just real. You as a man should want to show especially if you got a son, because, okay, what about when your kid grow up, when your son grow up, he's going to see how you treat his mom.
Exactly.
And they don't never really realize it. It's too late. But the way I look at it is, if you don't want to have these responsibilities or take care of them, you can go down to the U of L School of Medicine. They do free vasectomies all day long because they want students to be able to learn how to do them. And so you can go down there. I'm telling you right now, my daddy went and got one free vasectomy so that, of course it's a doctor they're standing with a student, but they're going to perform it so that. But it's free. You almost like kind of like a guinea pig, but they have a doctor overseeing. So you ain't gonna die. You ain't gonna bleed out.
Say the same thing about women. Like, if you don't want to go through this, then get your tubes tied and don't have babies by people that you're not married to.
I totally
or whatever.
understand. I definitely agree with that. Because it's a choice. And I think what a lot of it is when you was like, how did this happen? Where this culture, this society now isn't built on people being married. And even if you are married at this point, with 1 out of 2 marriages, 50% of marriages don't last in a divorce. So it doesn't matter if you're married or not. It's just the way of the world, the way that the world is coming to. People are just having babies. And there are a lot of very successful women out here who can take care of the babies on their own. But a man should choose to contribute, even if the woman doesn't need your help. You should feel a responsibility to want to contribute to the welfare of your child. And that's in more ways than one. And a lot of the times when you do put them on child support, then they they feel like you're trying to control how they be a father. So they don't. So then they try to, what is that? hurt you or disappoint you and not help in other ways. I ain't great.
Right.
I'm not great to show up and do
If
this.
that's all, if I gotta give $50 a week, then that's all I'm
Then
gonna do.
that's
That's all
all
I'm gonna do.
And
$50.
that is so immature. That's crazy. But that's
Yeah,
how
it
some
is.
dudes really think. Like,
Mhm.
if this is how you're gonna do it, then I ain't, then I ain't doing this and I
Because
ain't
they
doing
don't
that.
get the control. But I am a walking example of what happens even when you don't put nobody in child support. You know what I'm saying? And you still try to give them chances. They still gonna do what they want to do. And so sometimes, I look back and I just think, yeah, like anybody who's not married should be in child support or, have some type of arrangement that's consistent. Because a lot of times if you leave it up to people to do what they want, they will do what they want to do and not what they have to do or need to do. And so, and I guess it's understandable that you would want to spend your money or spend your time doing certain things, but it's just not, it's unacceptable to neglect your kids. And I think when I think of the audacity of men in these situations, it's like I would have a CPS case if I was that neglectful as a mother. You know what I mean? Like, so to me, the idea of like women would have to go into the system a different way if they didn't do what they needed to do. So it's accountability on both ends. Because at first I was so against the child support system because of the prospect of the probability of somebody going to jail. I just didn't feel like it should be a punishment, because you can't, if you're in jail, how you gonna take care of your kids? How do you bounce back from that? And then if you got a felony because of it, then you really, have a lot of issues trying to come back. Yeah. And so that's why I didn't think that system was appropriate, but at the same time, I know that I feel like it is socially criminal to not take care of your children, because you don't lead them, you don't guide them, and they come up sometimes not knowing what they need to know and what they need to do. And I think that's what has happened. When you said the generational thing, I think the generational drop off is probably around the 80s. Like, I feel like with the influx of the war on drugs and the crack epidemic, because that's where a lot of men went to prison, and that is where a lot of women got strung out on drugs in Black communities or in more disadvantaged communities.
The 90s hit. That's what happened. The 90s hit. I mean, even with the music, you think about like how like your Master P's, he was like, forget the chick.
So now the music became more degrading to the woman. And then it was like as disrespectful as you could be was more of an empowering thing for a man. Like, that's where I think there was definitely a drop off. Like, in the music, you don't hear men loving on women in music anymore. They talking about what they can get sexually and stuff like that. And I think that's sad, because even the Black woman was already objectified in that way before that. So then to have your own men start to like, you just a piece of meat, you know what I'm saying? And you not to be respected.
Beat them at their own game.
What is
do
that?
them like that?
I mean, why do we gotta do all that? Why they can't just grow
what
up?
It is what it is. Us, I ain't gonna say us, but guys don't want to be real. Like, if you was to approach a guy and be like, look, I just want, and you can get on up through. He gonna be like, well, hold on, what? It's gonna be shocking. But that's the first approach to a guy. Let me go on and knock this off and.
Well, a lot of times they're not even honest about the fact that that's the only thing they want to do.
They not, right. So if you approach them with it, how you think they're gonna react?
Right. But they might just get what they want with minimal expectation. Then, if you approach them,
they gonna want some more.
Well, I think too, it's like you say, even with the music or just the culture, it's like, with guys, it's like on to the next. You know what I'm saying? On to the next. You get rid of. Yeah, exactly. Conquerors. So, but in the midst of all of that, they're making babies with these different chicks, and then they're moving on to the next situation, and neglecting their responsibility with the last chick that they was with,
and then putting themselves.
What?
It's two people now. The chick don't have to get pregnant.
Well, yes, you're right.
No, you're right.
She's making choices
you can't
too.
Just put it all on the guy.
You're right, but also she don't have to get pregnant. But as a man, you should take as a man or a woman, both of y'all should take the necessary precautions to protect yourself.
Correct.
And it don't even matter. When you lay down with a woman that's not your wife, it don't matter if you have protected sex or unprotected sex. There is a chance that she can get pregnant. There is a chance that y'all can transfer a sexually transmitted disease. That's the chance you take when you out here just casually having sex with people. So just like she can take birth control to not get pregnant, he could put on a condom not to get pregnant. But still, at the end of the day, there's only a 99% chance you might not get pregnant. And if you get pregnant, then that's both of y'all fault. It ain't just one person's fault.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I
The only way
you
you can not get pregnant or not get somebody pregnant is to
Not
abstain
doing
from
it.
exactly.
Exactly.
And
but
who's
it's
doing
but
that?
the
Nobody.
everybody
but the
Oh, except for me.
responsibility. What'd you say?
who's
Except for
doing
me.
that.
I said,
I
except
told
for
her
me.
everybody.
But I need.
Oh yeah, you got some time in.
Right, that's another conversation. Celibacy.
Right. But I guess like you said, it's both people's fault. And so that's why it's both people's responsibility to make sure that certain things happen. And you can tell that like even the audacity to me of a person, taking care of kids by that are by the woman that they care about. You know what I'm saying? They might take care of those kids, but then this chick over here that they don't like, you know what I'm saying? This little oops baby that they really wasn't trying to have or whatever. They'll take care of they might have children with a woman that they care about, and then they maybe then had kids by somebody else on the outside, and then they take care of the kids that's in the home or that they with, but then they neglect like whatever kid that's over here. And so I guess but when I think about it, I guess why I get so passionate about it is because, and that's probably why I was so cool myself, trying to make sure that those relationships were nurtured, is because I understand the alternative. I understand the damaging effects of not having that father figure or that person that's supposed to be in that maybe protective and role that's supposed to be providing and stuff like that. So for me, I'm just like, I don't even understand how a person can walk around it would be hard for me to walk around knowing I had a child out here somewhere and I don't know what's going on with them. Like, I don't know if they ate, if they didn't. Like, I mean, I guess you don't got to get that specific if you don't live in a home, but you can at least be making sure that some groceries or something happen.
Yeah.
So you can ensure that they eat.
But that's one thing, like, even with you saying that, that's just one thing that I think we as women, we always do, even in relationships with men, whether it's our man or it's our, child's father or whatever, like, we feel like that if we treat you a certain way or if we do certain things or have a certain attitude or whatever towards you, that we expect a certain response, an appropriate response in a
reciprocation.
Reciprocation, but that's not always the case. And especially when you're not in a relationship with that person, they also really don't feel the need to reciprocate, the conveniences that you give them or just the thoughtfulness that you have for them. If anything, it's being taken advantage of and you get walked all over. So, I mean, a lot of the times, there's nothing you can do to make a situation so pretty or so, perfect or very, make it real nice for someone to come in and be a father. That person's going to be the kind of father that they are, whether you a bitch to them or whether you are, the nicest person in the world to them.
But that's not how it's put out there. Because some guys, they'll be like, well, if she wasn't like this, I like it, then I would do more. Or if she didn't do this, maybe it's excuses. But sometimes, and I think that was even with me, because I knew that a part of why, that my father wasn't in my life was the negative relationship that he had with my mother. Right. So in my mind, like when I became a woman, I knew I don't want to have no negative relationship with no dude that makes him not want to be around my kid. You know what I mean? And not that it was her fault or anything like that, or I don't know how it really played out because I wasn't, I was too young to know. But in my mind, I felt like the best thing to do is to try to have a harmonious relationship, so that in one of like respect, and equality, you know what I'm saying, that we could do this like easily and productively and helping each other for this child. But that's not where even trying to be harmonious got me, you know what I mean? So it's just like, I guess in my mind, it's like, how do we get to a place? And I guess it'll have to be the choices that women make in men. But to be honest, it's the pickings is slim.
Girl, and people can put on a good facade and act like they
That's
really
true.
want, you can beg you to have a baby.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Can beg you to have a baby, can promise you all these things and still change in the blink of an eye and decide to do something else and go elsewhere and neglect their responsibilities. And in this day and age, I just feel like I'm just a very zero tolerance person. I don't have a tolerance for anybody that says they can't get a job. I don't have tolerance for any, because there's panhandlers out here making $100 a day on the streets. So there's ways that you can make money. And that's just me. I don't accept that. But then also, in agreeing to what you were saying, for me, I think just now, I don't want the drama or even the conflict, because I need peace of mind for myself. Like, I'm not even going to be nice to you to accommodate you or make you feel good about, coming in and being a good father. I'm going to be real cool because I'm good and I need peace of mind for myself. So I'm not even going to feed into the dysfunction or the drama, the negative energy, at this point in my life. Everybody's grown. So if you want to step up, or if you're going to do what you're supposed to do that. I'm not getting ready to give you a
make you.
And I'm not going to make you. And I'm definitely not going to give you a cookie for taking care of your responsibility.
Yeah. Well, and that's another thing is,
or no cookie. Or you ain't getting a cookie. You ain't getting no cookie. None of it.
Right. Because that's what it is when it ain't no more access. Then,
So okay, let me ask you this. So you saying it's slim pickings?
I feel like the pickings are slim, but maybe I'm in the wrong neighborhood or the wrong city or whatever. But I just feel like, and I don't feel like there are no good men, because I know, but I just feel like there's a lot of men that just haven't gotten to the level of maturity that I expect a man to be at. And I think that that's probably a lack of spiritual guidance or a lack of spirituality or something. Because there's something like, what is it? In my mind, a man should be thinking about, what type of man do I want to be? You know what I mean? Who am I going to be to my kids? Who am I going to be to my woman or my family or whatever? And it seems like men, they seem like they just lack pride. You know what I'm saying? Like, how can you have pride? You can't, or they have foolish pride, but it just seems like they don't.
They have ego.
Pride is
they have ego, but no pride.
But the pride is just low to me, because you should want to be the best you can be to your kids. Like, you should take a lot of pride in being a provider for your woman and your kids and stuff. So when men are like, even when men are okay with asking women for money and stuff, like, for gas or anything, I just like, what in the world? Like, where's men's like pride? You know what I'm saying? It like.
So let me ask you this. Since it's slim pickings out there, would you rather have an ain't-ish guy that's single, or a guy that will provide and take care of you as much as he can when he got time, but he's in a relationship?
Oh, how about neither? I can't even, because in my mind, I'm crazy enough to believe that I can have it all in one person without having to deal with that stuff. But if in that situation,
but if he's a good guy, I
won't even. I agree
good
with
for
you.
Your kid. You would want your kid to have some kind of male figure.
Yeah, but I think that also we got to think about culturally the way we've been taught versus the culture that we even come from, as far as even African customs or different stuff like it. Like, there are people that have like more than one wife and all that kind of stuff, or more than one. But in other cultures, there are women who have more than one husband, or they get to even pick who the women are the pickers, like the Wasabi tribe. I think it's the Wasabi tribe in Africa. They don't consider a man until he's 36 years old. Okay. And then also the women pick the men. They gotta put on this paint and dance for the women and everything. Yeah. I'm like, guess what? I'm about to get in that tribe.
Hey,
but
dang-a-lang.
I guess when back to your question though.
Oh yeah, what kind of?
I cannot deal with a man who's not nothing at all.
No.
So that's something that because to me, if you're single, there's no reason why are you not together? You don't have any kids. You don't have any.
Now, I mean, some people may choose to be single, just like a
Well,
woman.
no.
may
I'm
choose to be
saying
single.
if you're single though, I feel like you don't have no excuse to be not shit.
If you
Like
in a
you ain't got
relationship,
nothing
Yeah.
to
don't
worry
have-
about. You ain't got no kids. You ain't got a lot of going
Right.
on to worry about but yourself. Then you should be getting to a place where you doing what you need to do for yourself. Because it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Like it's hard enough trying to do something with a family and try to rise in this world, but to be single and just deciding not to be nothing, I could not deal with that. Now, I couldn't deal with a man having being. I definitely couldn't deal with being the woman on the side at this
And
point.
see, I knew you was gonna say it's not the woman on the side.
But to me, it is the woman on the side.
If a man is living in a home with his woman and his family, and you're outside of that home, you're on the side.
Yeah,
Unless y'all in the
May have
house
an
together.
understanding.
yeah, y'all might have an understanding.
But that becomes a choice. That
Right.
becomes a lifestyle choice that, to each his own. But I'm just not gonna get down with the get down ever.
Yeah.
But I think going back to what you said too about the whole spiritual thing, that's so true. And the emotional maturity, because even when I think about when I Googled and asked Siri what age, and she said 43. That's why I'm dating. Anybody's gonna be 44 and over, because I'm not I'm not with the shits. I think that's where I've gone wrong with these past,
Exactly.
Exactly.
You have to get on sugardaddy.com.
Hey, yeah, it's all right. But
I understand that because it comes a point when you as a woman, you like, I've been through enough.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? I'm not dealing with that. I've dealt with that. I've dealt with this. I've been the girl on the side. You know what I'm saying? I've been the girl that's getting cheated on with the girl on the side. Like, I'm not dealing with none of that.
None of that.
So, and to me, and that's why I say the pickings is slim, because actually those two choices that you gave out are more of a reality out here.
True.
Is that, that people are making choices and they not being even honest about. Everybody seems to be taken by somebody that they don't want to admit that they taken by, or they might be claimed already by.
That's why I said, would you rather be like a good guy that's in a relationship? Because the guy that's probably pursuing you may be in a relationship but just ain't telling you, and you think he's a good guy.
Well, yeah.
Or
he may be dealing with multiple women and ain't telling you, and you still think he's a good guy.
Or I might just be single and deal with 5 dudes, maybe just sleep with one and get whatever I want from the other 4, regardless of what it is. And maybe that's just the way that, women should just start living, I think. Because, honey,
you done turned it into something else now. She's ready to be the guy. She's ready to be the woman with the dudes on the side.
Yeah, I'm in the wasabi tribe.
If you're single, you should.
Yeah.
It don't have to be the guy or the girl. It's you single.
Yeah.
Well, as long as there's an understanding, as everybody knows that as long as everyone knows that they're single, that's the problem.
Well,
so
the
all
honesty.
4.
So
we're gonna say all 4 of the guys.
Yeah, it'd be like one that I go to church with, one I play tennis with,
you gonna get them
one I
together
travel with.
Yeah.
You gonna let them know?
One that cooks for me.
Are you gonna let them know their role?
Yeah.
And you gonna keep it 100?
Keep it a buck, yes.
Be like, okay, but
my Tuesday.
This
my
is the
Tuesday
only one
dude.
that's getting some.
Yeah.
But y'all,
but
just
women
doing
probably
this.
do it
And-
anyway sometimes, because you might have a dude that you live with or you care about and all of that, but then you might have that dude at work that likes you, and you might go to lunch with him, but you ain't never messed with him or nothing like that, but you just go to lunch with him. Y'all just cool. I mean, or you might you're just misleading. Or you might have somebody you talk to because they have great conversation.
And it ain't even about misleading, because at the end of the day, the way I look at it, I know, especially from my past and things that I've been through, when I, used to, I don't know, maybe, date guys back in the day and maybe felt like I owed them something because we've been on a couple dates, or we done, you done bought me dinner a couple times. But at this day and age, my presence is a present. And that may not work for every man, but for me, I'm not getting ready. I'm not.
It is. I don't gotta give you nothing.
It is. I'm not giving you nothing. This right here that you get is
to be right here in my presence.
And to get this time, exactly.
Because I ain't have to. I didn't have to give you my time. But you think about it for real though. Time is that's the most important thing.
And that's what people.
So if I'm giving you my time, that's gold. I'm giving you me.
Yeah.
So
I'm giving you precious time that has been taken away from my children, my money,
My
whatever.
other
So you
things.
have to be beneficial to me in some way, shape, or form. Not necessarily even saying financial,
Nah,
but you
but
have to be.
it has
We
to
have
be
to have good
a
conversation.
mutual benefit.
There has to be some. I'm learning something from you. There has to be a mutual benefit for our interaction. Definitely.
Yeah, but I think I'm just crazy
nothing
enough
wrong
to
with that.
believe.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I just think I'm just crazy enough to believe that I don't have to deal with nothing. Like, not that you're gonna deal with something from somebody. But I don't feel like
You
I
gonna
have
deal with
to.
what? What you got? Can you handle it?
What you got, and can you handle it? Like, that is Bernika's saying that she says all the time. But
it applies to everything in life.
exactly. But you're gonna deal with something.
Mhm.
But it doesn't have to be toxic and hurtful, and I don't have to be put in those situations where I'm worried about other women or thinking that somebody's getting something that I'm not getting or nothing like that. Like, I don't in my mind, I want a man who's spiritually mature enough to know, like, yeah, I can have all these women, but I choose you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or I know that I can be out here doing this and that, but making sure that you straight is my priority or whatever. So it's just, to me, I just feel like you don't have to settle, because I feel like the man who has to have that girl on the side, he's settled in some type of way. And that's why he feels the need to have that other person on the side. Like, if you have to have other people on the side, then you ain't got what you want.
Right.
You know what I'm
And-
saying?
Well, I got a saying too. that we can patent.
Okay.
We're gonna get some
All right,
shirts.
what we got?
Let's do
Nah,
it.
but I
Yeah,
think
search
women.
machine.
Okay, we're gonna get these shirts printed.
Mhm.
Jump in the head before you jump in the bed.
True.
Okay.
Hey.
So
in the
so
head.
if you get into their head, let
Mhm.
them know. Put it all out. Let them know. Okay, I got 5 kids, or how many ever kids.
Yeah.
I'm doing this. It's up to them.
But
You
it's
gotta do
being
it before.
honest.
Right, but before you give up the cookie.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I think that's where definitely women, but
And if
then
they run,
Yeah.
then you know.
but don't
they
you
just
hate
want
the
the
stigma
cookie.
like associated with a woman giving up the cookie? Because why can't it just be like a sexual act that a woman does to relieve herself the way a man does?
Yeah.
Like, why does it have to be like,
it really is.
she's
It-
this or that? Like, it's a primal need. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it's a lot of people have to have sex.
But
Like,
it's not
so-
a need. Believe me.
well, yeah. I guess it's not a need.
It's not a need.
I don't know.
It's
It's
a
a
choice.
present.
And also, like we said too. What did he say?
She
It's
said
a
it's not a
present.
need. I was like,
It's
I
a
don't
present.
know.
Hey,
It is,
baby, with a red bow, a gold bow
But-
on top of it. You
Oh,
better hear
Lord.
me.
Yeah,
And
and so-
glitter.
But
on
that's
top of
why
that.
you can't deal. That's why you can't deal with everybody. But it just sucks that you have. But even that, like, you can't, as a woman, you're in charge of making sure that you guide the respect in the relationship. Like, oh, I can't give him this too soon, because if I do it, then he's gonna do it.
Well, I'm gonna tell you right
so
now.
I have to.
Honey, even with that whole, I remember some years ago, my sister was all about, you need to read Steve Harvey's book, Act Like a Lady, but Think Like a Man, and whoop, 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 you need to read that. And I'm like, girl, I'm not reading that book. Ain't nothing that Steve Harvey can tell me someone who divorced his wife, got her locked up, took their child away from them to be with this new side chick, to be with his side chick, can tell me about how to maneuver in a relationship.
Her best friend.
Yeah, it was her best friend.
Mhm.
I knew it was something like that. Something like a crazy
Oh,
story,
boy.
which is so funny to me because that's why I
Yeah.
don't really care for Steve Harvey. But, and his name is Steve, which is not a name that I love. But
Oh Lord.
secondly, on to the next point that I was
Tiddy
trying to make.
Pow.
So there's
Right.
nothing that nobody can say about 90 days versus, you wait 90 days or you
90
gave it up in
seconds.
3 days. Like, you will still get done. I know people that have had sex the first night and they're married to that person and they've been with that person for years and years and years. So there's really no timeline on what it is that you do. But even going back to what you were saying about being a man being his highest self, like I talk about that all the time, like as being a woman. And maybe that's why
Mhm.
I am where I am in my life right now. And I have chosen to make the choices that I have made because I want to be my highest self right now. And that's according to my own definition of what it is and how it
yes.
makes me feel. So there are certain things that I'm not going to deal with. I'm not going to deal with casual sex right now because it's not great to help me be my highest self. It's not going to benefit me in any way right now. So that's why I choose the path that I choose. But as a man, he has to make that choice too. And I would hope to find somebody that wants to be his highest self because that's going to allow him to make
Well, that's-
better decisions for
That's
both
the
of
only
us.
way you're not dealing with the audacity. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? Because when a person, basically even the audacity as rude, disrespectful behavior or whatever, that is, another definition was taking bold risks. But you dealing with somebody who is mature enough to know that it's certain stuff that I'm just not gonna do because I respect myself too much.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That a man has respect for himself and his situation.
Yeah.
So I mean, and I think men have to graduate to that level of maturity. I think women reach it a lot sooner. But we all can look back, even as women, on things where we had the audacity, you know what I mean, about certain things. But it just seemed like we reach that place of maturity quicker because we have to, and that's maybe just because of having kids.
Yeah.
Responsibilities. But yeah, responsibility. So it's just, I don't know, when I think about even having to choose between two poor alternatives, you know what I'm saying?
The pickings is slim, like you said.
It does feel like that because that's poor alternatives.
You just have to be a little bit more open-minded and look outside the box. Just anybody, people just.
Oh, are you talking about dating outside your race, huh?
Or outside your gender? No, I'm just playing. just whatever, whatever works.
Whatever makes you happy.
Whatever makes you happy.
That's the thing about whatever makes you happy. But yeah, it's just a lot of, when I think about just the audacity, I just think about a lot of stuff is going on now that wasn't going on in previous generations. That there, and I know that some of the breakdown happened with the, when the welfare system came along, that women start to become more codependent on the government. And the men, sometimes I think instead of giving us welfare, they should have just gave our men jobs.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because they gave us something to help us out, but then we don't include the man. And so the man is left out here to do whatever, to fend for himself in certain ways. And, that may result in imprisonment and different things like that. And so then, there you go. The lack of pride and all of that stuff that comes in with that, you know what I'm saying? A man just sitting around now, not knowing his role, not knowing where he's supposed to be, and basically codependent on the woman and whatever she has going on. That was, to me, where the switch up happened.
And I just feel like with society and all the, institutions they put into place as far as welfare, child support, all of that, none of it is to make the world a happy place and make, everything go around smoothly. You would think that that's the case, but there's always going to be, deficits. Like you said, if they don't pay their child support or whatever, for whatever reason, then they're going to go to jail. Like that's not creating a happy situation. It's just creating a situation that society feels like, they're going to benefit off of, or that it's just going to keep functioning because it's going to work for them. It may not work for the family bond, but it works for the government. It works for, the system for whatever reason, or they feel like that's the best system that's been put into place, but it's not the best system for the child or for the actual close family unit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's definitely not. But I don't think, like I said, I don't think they consider those things because in some ways, I think that some of that stuff was a setup anyway.
That's what I mean.
It was a social setup.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And so the only way that you can, see, the only way that you can see what things really are is to try to get away from those systems and learn how to be independent and interdependent and not codependent. You know what I'm saying? But I just feel like that's where it fell off at, was with men in our culture, Black men. I feel like it fell off with the welfare system and the war on drugs, And it's now we just dealing with the audacity. We dealing with the effects of things going south, and
it's just getting worse.
But it's like, how do you educate the men? How do you help them, become different? How do you help them see their role is so important and that it needs to be, managed differently?
We got to get back to good music.
Good music.
Yeah.
You know what? That makes a whole lot of sense to me because the music runs the culture. Yeah, but the music runs the culture.
Mm-hmm.
And it has to be those people standing up. And that's one thing I will say real quick. Even going back, like last week, I know the week before, Offset was on the Breakfast Club, and he's really not someone, the rumble rappers that I really, want to hear speak. But his interview was actually I was very enlightened by a lot of the things he was saying. And that was one of the things that he talked about, was one of his daughters that he has. I think this little girl's maybe 2 or 3. She might be 3 now, that he had just on a random, night on tour at the concert, met a girl, had sex, got her pregnant. 9 months later, she calls him, you got a baby. He wasn't even for sure if the baby was his. But he went through all that, got the test that was his baby. And the fact that he is like stepping up, not just paying, sending her money, paying for the baby financially, but like his baby like is with them. You know what I'm saying? Like comes with him. She was one of the kids on his CD album cover when they did the Family of Four. Like, of course he can be only so, I'm sure, hands-on being a father, touring and, doing all of that. But the fact that he even acknowledged that he had to be like, damn, like I got a baby with a girl, I don't even know her. But he has stepped up. And I think it may even be the same child's mother who went on air to talk about, how Cardi has made him a better man and this, and that. So with him being a young guy and, has a big influence, one of the biggest groups out here influencing a lot of young guys, like, I feel like that was a very positive thing for him to put out there, because there are so many guys out here and girls that's meeting dudes on the internet or out in the club or whatever. And then y'all have a baby comes out of this, whatever the situation is. But as a man, you should still want to step up, because that is your blood. That is your seed. Like, you should still want to see that child doing well. You should know man should want the blood to be out here struggling, especially if you are a rapper like him. But even if you're not a rapper, if you just got a regular job, like, there still has to be some sort of responsibility that you feel towards your own blood. You shouldn't leave your blood out here to high and dry.
Yeah, you definitely shouldn't. Yeah. And so, but that's what you're doing. That's what you're doing when you don't take care of your children, no matter who they're by.
Yeah,
is that you're leaving a soul out here without your presence. You know what I'm saying? A soul that belongs to you. And so, it's so important. Like it's just as important as the mother.
Because now with technology these days, you can be a father on the other side of the world. You can be a positive, constant figure in your child's life on the other side of the world with FaceTime, Skype. There's Amazon. You can send some to your child's mother's front door without even
dealing with her.
Without even dealing with her. Like, there's so many. Target, free shipping. Walmart, free shipping. Clothes, shoes, diapers, formula, whatever. Like, to me, that's why I said there's no excuse for a man to say, I don't want to deal with her. She's crazy. I'm not going to deal with her. Because you don't have to deal with her. You can make a conscious effort on your own to still contribute to your child. And then hopefully making that effort could possibly like soften the situation,
would, because if you start helping me the way I deserve to be helped, then now I see you in a different light. I see you as a partner. I see you not as an intimate partner, but I see you as a partner in this parenting thing. So but then it's just so hard to be respectful of the men who are not like that. It's just like, why are you here? You know what I mean? If you don't take care of your kids, like, I guess, and I understand having to go to jail, because it's just like, if you can't take care of your own kids, or you choose not to, not that you can't take care of, but you choose not to, then
castration.
You deserve to
castration,
get penalized
and then go to
for
jail.
that. I don't know if that's the penalty that it should be, but you deserve to get penalized. But I don't know that jail is the best penalty for it. I just don't know what other thing they could use. But and it's just a lot of audacity, it's just a lot of men running around here that just really are disrespectful in how they are doing things. Disrespectful not only to their children, but just to the culture, period. Like to the community. That's now the community has to step up and try to do your job. You got coaching and other people that have to try to step in and be a figure to your child. Like, yeah, it definitely needs to be different.
Wow.
So what a good topic.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us today, Mr. DJ
Thank y'all
Ice.
for having me.
Wait a minute. What's the one more time? What's the your little saying? I need to make your shirt when I
get
come
in
back.
The head.
Get in the head.
Get his head before you get in his bed.
Oh, it's funny that you said that, because I've been listening to a CeeLo Green song, "Spend the Night in Your Mind," and that's some of the lyrics is like. Basically, I want to make love, but it's not quite time. I'd rather spend the night in your mind. Like he's saying that basically, I want to, he say something about caress your consciousness and seducing your soul and all that kind of stuff. So
but if people did that first, most definitely there probably wouldn't be
we just
many
have
kids
done
out
things
here.
backwards. We really have. And the audacity and the things that we deal with, those are the consequences of us not doing things decent and in order.
Making poor decisions.
I mean?
Yeah.
But still, I'm still mad about some things.
But we definitely gonna
still be mad
continue
about the audacity.
Oh yeah, we definitely gonna continue the audacity.
We need to continue
though.
and not even just the audacity, but going forward, we'll probably have a part of our show that has the audacity as like a subject. We'll talk about some things that are disrespectful or wild.
Yeah, on a weekly basis.
Segment.
Yeah,
a segment.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
So thank y'all for joining us here at the Tiddy Pow Wow. You can find us on Instagram at Tiddy Pow Wow. And if you need to email us anything, it's thetiddypowwow@gmail.com. We also have a Facebook page that is the Tiddy space powwow. So I couldn't put up the whole name together. So it made me make it into two names. So it's the Tiddy Powwow on Facebook. Thank you.
Thank y'all.
It's going down. It's going down. It's going down on the Tiddy Powwow. It's going down. It's going down. It's going down on the Tiddy Powwow. It's going down. It's going down. It's going down on the Tiddy Powwow.